Hey everyone, welcome back to Jason Card Live. I'm Tati Amara filling in for Jason while he takes a little time off. And like I mentioned to you guys before, I am doing this segment called Motivation Monday because indeed it is Monday and we all need some inspiration to get the week started. And as promised, Gwen Jameer, the CEO and founder and creator of Naturalicious, is going to share her journey with us. And I honestly, I dare you to not be inspired. So we're going from hair care line, also to a salon that's opening up locally, which we will get to in just a few moments. And she is no stranger to the Local 4 digital set and the studio and Live in the D. We've had you on. We definitely gave you a shout out when we found out about your salon opening up, which of course I'm excited. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I saw the pictures and you guys will see them in just a few minutes. But Gwen, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to see
always
you.
lovely to see you.
Always lovely
and to be here on Channel 4.
Yeah, and you look great, like this whole outfit, everything. As soon as she walked up, I was like, this is giving. I'm loving all of this. You look amazing.
Thank you so much. It's obviously so do you.
Thank you.
So do you.
Thank you. But
y'all look fun. I like this. Okay, go ahead.
you know how ladies get when they get together, girl talk. Every time I see her, she's looking fly. So just have to put that out there. But, you know, everybody sees you, magazine write-ups. You've been on multiple TV shows, too many to count. I think I saw you like on MSNBC, doing like a business talk. You're everywhere. So on the outside, you see beautiful woman, you're a mom, business owner, CEO, boss lady. But no one sees the journey to get there, right? All they see is glamour and zhuzh, as I like to say.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
What was the inspiration for you to start Naturalicious?
Gosh, well, it wasn't the glamour for sure. I actually love to say that I am the least likely hair care entrepreneur because I was never the girl who liked her hair. I hated my hair pretty much my whole life. But the light bulb went off for me when I was pregnant with my son. And I was trying to find products that were natural and safe and healthy. I had started learning about all the toxic ingredients that are found in products, specifically products targeted to women with textured hair.
That's right.
And I got really scared, and I was pregnant with my son, and my catalyst for wanting to find better products was really for him. It really wasn't even for me. But during that process, I couldn't find anything that really worked. You know, I couldn't find anything that was safe and worked really well and didn't force me to take up my entire day using it.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, so I started creating stuff in my kitchen and it was just for me. It was never supposed to be a business. It was just supposed to be my little thing. And then I realized that so many other women had the same challenges. You know, they were struggling with their hair. They were feeling that their hair wasn't good enough, that they didn't have good hair, which we can talk about that later. But, you know, it's just, it really bothered me, you know, because I've always felt like I see so many women and I just like, you're gorgeous and they have such low self-esteem, but a lot of it is rooted in their hair and also what society has told us about what good hair or what beauty is.
Absolutely.
And so that's how it became a business, was just to help other people, but really it was never intended to be a business. It was just something I was trying to find for myself that didn't exist in the marketplace.
And then you realize then you are solving problems for women because a lot of times we have an issue, other women have that issue too, right? Another one of my questions that I was going to ask you, we'll talk about it later, is a lot of women are hesitant or there's some reticence there about sharing their story because I don't put my business out there. I don't want everyone to know what I went through. But in fact, it can be so very helpful.
Yeah.
So, so you're very open about everything that you've gone through. So let's talk about your journey as a single mom and how that happened and how that all evolved and how that was kind of a motivation for you.
Yeah, well, when I was a single mom, I was going through a divorce, left an abusive relationship, and found myself as a single mom, all the emotional stuff that goes along with that. And I had $32 in the bank. So I had no money. Here I am, a single mother, no extra income, and I'm just trying to figure it out. And in hindsight, this was a blessing because I didn't have the luxury of doubting myself. It was just like, you've got a baby to feed, you've got a mortgage to pay, and you cannot let him see you fail. He has to be able to tell a triumphant story when he gets old enough to know what happened. And my whole purpose at that point was, I want to make my son proud. I wanted him to be able to be, he was 2 years old at that point. I wanted him when he was 12 or 22 to be able to say, you know what, my mom and me, we were in this like really, really tight situation, but she figured it out. She pulled herself up by her bootstraps, and we did it, and here we are, and we're here inspiring other people. And so at the time, it didn't feel like a blessing.
Right.
But now it definitely was, because so many people, specifically women, we tend to doubt ourselves and our abilities, and we don't really trust ourselves a whole lot. But I didn't have the luxury of not doing that, because I had to pay bills and I had to take care of things. So it was like, let's just trudge forward and pray and hope that all good things happen. And it's been a really, really awesome story. And now so many girls and women alike come up to me, and they're just like, wow, I'm just so inspired by you. How did you do it? And I love that I can be that example, because it's hard to realize that you can do something if you don't have an example.
That's
and
true.
So it's very gratifying for me.
Yeah, if you've never seen it, you can't even fathom it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think it sounds simplistic, but it's so true. You see a woman, you made it happen. As when you're talking about your son, I was like, do I need to start fanning my eyes so I don't start, calm down the tearing up, because that's so beautiful. That was your why.
It was.
Your why was your son.
Yeah.
Now you're incredibly successful. He is the chief candy curator.
He
What's his
is.
title?
He is. He's the chief candy curator, which is a job he came up with himself at 2 years old.
I love it.
He wanted to be involved. A lot of times kids are like kind of in the way, and you're just like, he's like, I want to help. And I'm like, what are you going to do? I have to make these products. I was making them by hand at that point. And he was like, well, I think everyone deserves candy.
I love that.
And he decided that he wanted to put candy in every online order that we got. And to this day, he still does it. Nowadays, he was 2 then, he's 11 now. Nowadays, he has staff.
Oh, okay. I love it.
Because he's in school during the day, so he can't
Right.
put it in the orders. But he actually is still in charge of picking out the candy. He knows that in the summertime, we don't send out chocolate because it might melt. He knows the logistics of it all, and he's very much involved in that.
So he's already a budding entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because of mom.
Yeah, he started a couple of businesses himself
I love
already.
this. And he's also a really sweet kid, because
Yeah.
I've met him a couple times out and about, and also when I can't come to do other interviews with you.
Yeah.
Sweetest kid, sweetest
Thank
kid. So
you.
you're doing something right. But
you.
let's talk about some of the challenges of starting a natural hair care business
Sure.
from scratch.
Yeah.
Now, you know this, that the first time I heard about Naturalicious was through a friend of mine. The usual talk.
Yeah.
Girl, let me tell you about this stuff I just bought. You need to get it. What is it? Rasul Clay. She's telling me about how it got her scalp squeaky clean. And they stay with you. You don't necessarily run out and buy the product
Sure.
right away.
Sure.
It's in the back of your head. So then I read about you on some website, and I was like, wait, this is what my friend Kat told me about that I absolutely have to get. Detroit-born product. But you are also the first woman to ever hold a patent, Black woman, on a natural hair care product.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. That's a long question, but let's break it down. Because I'm telling you guys all this stuff that I want to make sure you know about her. But let's break it down. You started the product. What made it so unique that it could be patented for you only?
That's an excellent question, because in today's day and age, right? Like, this was 2015 when this happened. It's really hard to create something that's novel and brand new, especially in the hair space, right? And so it was the fact that the product did more than one thing. It was not just a shampoo. It was not just a conditioner. You can buy shampoo conditioner combos anywhere right now. But this product was something that was of the earth, Rasul Clay, which only comes from Morocco. And I would mix it with various other really moisturizing ingredients that was specifically tailored to textured hair. And so those ingredients combined with the Rasul Clay allowed it to become a shampoo, a conditioner, but also a deep conditioner, a detangler, and do the work of a leave-in conditioner. So you could completely skip your leave-in conditioner and save time and therefore money, because you're only using one product to do 5 different things. And so that was how, that was the utility of it, was the patent. And it's, when you go to get a patent, right, it's like years usually,
Yes.
years and years and years of trying to get this patent. And the thing I think that's so unique about this story is that I did not have the money at the time to hire an attorney for this. I had to do this on my own, because I started this when I was a single mom. I had $32 in the bank, and it was like my mother, who was really the force that kind of almost pressured me into filing for the patent. Because she kept saying, Gwen, this is a phenomenal product. What's going to happen if you don't get a trade? She kept saying trademark. And I'm like,
Okay.
Mommy, you can't get a trademark on a hair product.
Right.
And she's like, well, whatever it is, just go get it. And I'm like, it costs like 20 grand. Like, I don't have 20 grand laying around at the time. And so really the only reason I even looked it up to see if it was possible to get a patent on a hair care product was to prove to her that it couldn't be done.
Wow.
And then I realized that it could be done. So I had to go back to her with my tail between my legs, like, okay, you're right. But again, I didn't have 20 grand. So it was like, I've got to figure out a way to basically file for this myself in lieu of an attorney. And I got my patent within a year, as opposed to a lot of times you're filing for patents and it can take years even with an attorney.
That's right.
So that's a really unique part of the story, but yeah.
That is insane to me, because when I did hear about the patent, again, you're the first Black woman to ever have one on natural hair care products. And I knew it took a long time. And so I was always trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together of your story, but you got this patent on your own. How did you go about that?
Yeah, I basically took myself back to college. I imagined I was back in college, again, single mom. So my son was not yet in preschool, he was only 2. So I was taking him with me to the library. And I was basically spending my entire day learning the ins and outs of patent law. What was previously on the books that had gotten changed, what was in the works of being changed, what might be happening in the future. And I really had to create like a self-imposed like patent law school for myself. I spent a lot of time at the satellite office here in Detroit for the USPTO office, which is the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Actually, I don't know if a lot of Detroiters know this, but we have the first USPTO satellite office here in Detroit. And so that was extremely helpful, in addition to spending a lot of time at the library. So every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 to 3, I was at the library, and on Wednesdays and Fridays, I was at the USPTO office.
With a toddler?
With a toddler. And he was with me, and you know, he would have his little toys and things like that. And but that's what I did. I did that for about, I'm gonna say about 8 months.
Wow.
Of doing that every day. Every single week. The only day I was off was Mondays and then the weekends. But other than that, I was learning patent law, and so I had to teach myself. And then you have to also draw what they call a drawing. So you have to kind of like describe how it works in a drawing. I'm not an artist.
I was gonna say, who'd you hire to do this?
No, it was chicken scratch. But you have to be able to just at least show in some sort of diagram how it functions and how it works. And
that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But you made it happen, so it is possible. So now, if I heard about this is how inspiration works. Because if someone had described this to me, I would just be like, how am I supposed to do all this?
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
These are for people who have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, who have the resources to get the right people to do the drawing. They would have lost me at drawing.
Yeah.
They would have lost me at drawing. But now I want my buddy Kari to chime in with a toddler, Kari, because Kari has a toddler who he describes as a slight maniac.
He's cool. But like,
he's cool.
And speaking of him, what's actually like, do I have my mic on? My mic's over here.
Yeah, let's get the mic on because we got to hear this.
What blew my mind about what you said is that this whole thing started with your son, right? Because most of the time you would think you hear about hair care products, you're doing this for a daughter or something like that. So when like we had our kid, dude just out the gate had like 4 inches of hair.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I didn't know what to do, but the wife does all that stuff. But like, what? So when you, hey man, I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah, Kari's honest.
So like, what made, like, was there something that made you say, I'm going to make sure that like I'm not going to cut his hair or do anything like that? Like, what led you to that? Because again, I would have thought that all of this would have come from having a daughter, and you were like, nope, got the young man on deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, honestly, my son, he's so funny. He actually does not like getting his hair done. Like, he's not a fan at all. He's not about that life. But he also doesn't want to, like, he doesn't want to really take care of it. He's 11. You know, he's at that age. He doesn't want to take care of it, but he also doesn't want it cut. So I'm like, you can't have both.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna cut it low so you can have like a minimalist hair care experience, or you keep it longer and you gotta take care of it.
That's it.
And he's like, just shave the sides, just taper the sides and leave the top up. And he's like, yeah. So he's not with it, but he likes to look good. That's the thing. Like, he wants to look good, but he doesn't want to do the work. This is really funny. Because again,
join the club. That's like all of us.
Yeah.
We did not wake up like this.
That's true. He's technically a preteen.
Yeah.
He'll be quick to let me know that. But yeah, I mean, no, it didn't start because I was trying to get his hair done. You know, I tried when I was younger, or when he was younger, to like braid it and that sort of thing, and he would just take off. He would just take off running, and I was like, this is for the birds.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
But no, it was, you know, as a woman, our hair is so much of our crowning glory.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, how I've always said this: how you feel about your hair is a direct result of how you feel about yourself, especially as a woman of color.
Yes.
Even more so. And because there's so much just societal things that have been wrapped up in our hair, from, you know, slavery times, pre-slavery times, to the 1900s to now. And when your hair looks, I mean, you walk differently. You know,
Of
when
course.
you feel like your hair looks good. Like, forget what anybody else feels like. If you feel like you look good, you stand a little bit taller, you walk with a different kind of strut. And a woman who is confident in herself can literally change the world. And so for me, it was like, I always say at Naturalicious and at Good Hair Bar, is that you, like, every woman is the standard of beauty. Like, it does not matter what society says is the standard. Like, you need to believe that you are the standard. And so our products and our services are not just about, you know, helping you get nice hair at home. It's about giving you that confidence to be able to take on the things that you need to be able to take on in life, you know?
That's right.
And so that's really what the businesses stand for.
Yeah, and I feel like that is very much the ethos of your business, which I love, because it's a really encourages women to embrace who they are. Because you and I have had conversations on this very set about the politics of black hair, when different things have come up in the media, misunderstandings about hair. And this goes for every woman, though. When your hair looks good, you feel good.
Yeah.
Are we combating respectability politics? Yes. Are we combating beauty standards? Yes. And every woman has to go through that. But when you are given the tools to be just a little bit more confident about that process, it is a game changer.
Now, hold on.
Yes.
I want you all to hold all those thoughts, because
Okay.
it's almost cut-in time.
Oh, okay.
So remember what she said. We'll come right back.
I won't forget.
Pause.
Okay, we are back after the news cut in. I'm still here with Gwen Shamir, and we were talking about, you know, hair, women's complicated relationships with our hair, how her products have solved some of those problems. Company born, bred, and created right here in Detroit.
Yep.
I've been to your manufacturing facility and where they put everything together. But now you are broadening your businesses, and you are opening up a hair salon. So
Yes.
it seems like a natural transition to me, right, from natural hair care products to hair salon called
Good
Good
Hair
Hair
Bar.
Bar.
Yep.
What was the inspiration behind that?
That's a really great question. You asked such a good question.
Thank you.
So Good Hair Bar, the inspiration was twofold.
Okay.
One was, like you said, it was a natural progression of the business. Since you last visited our warehouse, we've actually moved to a larger location since then.
What?
And so for manufacturing the products.
That's awesome.
And we had started to see that over time, especially during the pandemic, that women were really challenged with figuring out how to do their hair at home. So I came up with something called the Repair Your Hair Challenge. And the Repair Your Hair Challenge was something that we did for about 2 years. And we still do it here and there, but it was really during the pandemic.
Wait, I remember this on Facebook.
Yes.
Yes. That was fun.
Yeah,
That
it was fun.
That
And you
was fun.
had to, like, because at that time you couldn't go to a hair salon.
Right.
You couldn't go to your favorite beauty supply. You were stuck at home trying to figure out your hair, and you may have been in a place that you've never had to do that before. And this is very unique specifically to women with textured hair, because a lot of us are in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 60s, sometimes 70s, relearning our hair because we traditionally grew up with like relaxers. So it's like you're learning an entirely different set of textures at an adult age, whereas you didn't learn that in your formative years. So it's confusing, it's frustrating sometimes. You feel like your hair isn't good enough, like you don't have that quote unquote good hair and all of that. And so that's how the Repair Your Hair Challenge came to be. But once the pandemic kind of started to settle down and people were going back outside, we started to see, okay, people are still frustrated, and we've taught them how to do their hair at home. We have this proven system in the Repair Your Hair Challenge where we've taught literally thousands of women how to repair their hair in only 15 days. And this is very unique because for most of us, we feel like our hair is a problem. We feel like our hair is a chore. Like it's just, there's no hope for it.
Yeah, and you just dread that.
You just
okay,
dread
it's
it.
wash day and what I have
Exactly.
to do and all that. And let me tell you why I like the Repair Your Hair Challenge so much. So this was on Facebook. People would show their before and afters.
Yeah.
But right when the pandemic hit, I had a really bad experience at a hair salon.
Okay.
Wasn't my regular place. Got a blowout. I was like, my hair can handle a blowout. The heat damage was absurd. It was like a chunks of hair that was just
Oh my
straight.
gosh.
The curls were gone.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do braid outs. I was trying to do twist outs. I was trying to work with this texture.
Yeah.
And I'm at the mercy of the weather as well. It's just so much that goes into it. So I
Yeah.
understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's why I was really attracted to it. I was watching it. And there was women all over the country
Yeah.
participating in this.
Yeah. We have women all over the world. We
Okay.
have women in Dubai.
See.
Because we're everywhere, right? Japan, people who were stationed in Japan. Like, it was literally worldwide. It was on MSNBC. It was everywhere. And we started to see that coming out of the pandemic, that they had fixed their hair at home, but they still didn't really want to do it. They were
No.
only doing it because they had to, right? So we had this proven system that we had taught these women how to take years and decades of hair woes and repair them in a 2-week period. It was
It
unheard
was
of.
fun. I'm
It was-
not going to lie. You had me sucked into
Yeah.
it. I really was.
It was
I
a lot
really
of fun. So then it was like, okay, how do we give them that same experience in a service sector, right? So it was like, let's take all the things that we've learned over these past 2 years, teaching women how to repair their hair, but bring it to a space where we do it for them, right? Because we like for our hair to look good, but honestly, we don't really feel
I
like
don't
doing
really
it a whole
wanna
lot.
do my- I don't.
And so let's create a space that's an elevated experience that is absolutely gorgeous when you walk in, and it's something that doesn't exist in our community a whole lot. There are no textured hair salons that are what will consider high end, that are also full service. That doesn't exist anywhere. So it's like, okay, as a woman, I get my hair done, I get my nails done, I get my lashes done, and like, I'm tired of driving all around the city to do these things. I got to go to Ferndale for my facials. I got to go to Plymouth for my nails. I got to go to Detroit for my hair. I got to go, it's like I'm traveling all around. Why is there no one-stop shop? Why is there no place that I can go and feel like I can get it all done in one beautiful, elevated space that's just for me? We will have live music. We have a DJ on certain days, band on other days. We have drinks. We have all the services. Again, hair, nails, waxing, facials, massage, makeup, all the things that you need. And that was really kind of like the initial thought of let's create something let's disrupt this space, because the hair care salon space hasn't changed in 75 years.
No, and it's very complicated, right? And finding someone that you really like, and if you don't believe me, she knows this, look it up on social media. New age salons are not something that every woman can get with. Just book
Oh, we
online,
can
not
talk about
having a
that.
personal
Yeah.
relationship. Because if you do my hair, we go together. We're in a
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
We're in
It's
a
a thing.
relationship. Kari's laughing at me. I'm
Yes.
serious, Kari.
I love it.
Any woman out there, whatever kind of hair you have, we are in a relationship. We
Absolutely.
go together. Like you
Absolutely.
used to say when you were a kid. So that personal touch has also felt
Yeah.
like that was missing. So now here you are again, new business, solving your own problem for other women. Is that what
Yeah.
you intended to do?
I did, because I'm very much my customer. I'm very in tune with my clients and my customers. I mean, for the grand opening on August 27th, we have women flying in from out of town.
I love it.
We have people who have already made appointments that live in North Carolina, people who live in Florida, people who live in LA, who are coming here in addition to our Detroit customers. And it's a very unique situation, because most times when a salon opens, they create a product line afterwards. So we create the product line. It's been around for 9 years. We've built a lot of trust, which is really hard to build in this space. We built a lot of trust with these ladies, and they trust us enough to come to our salon sight unseen with you, like you said, stylists who they may not be familiar with. And I feel so honored in that. But the other part of it is also the name Good Hair Bar. Like, the title and name Good Hair Bar is very intentional. As I was mentioning earlier, good hair has traditionally been one type of standard of beauty.
That's
and that
right.
standard of beauty is typically closer to a European standard of beauty. And so if you have textured hair, the more tightly textured your hair is, the less you fall into that quote unquote good hair. And the colloquialism good hair has such a negative connotation for so many people. I remember growing up, I was never the girl who everyone was trying to play in my hair, and people loved my hair so much. That was for the girls with the quote unquote good hair. It was more silky, it was closer to being straight, maybe a little bit wavy, but it definitely wasn't what I would consider textured,
Right.
like tightly coiled. And so it is my belief and our belief at the company that everyone has good hair and can have good hair if it's healthy and it's properly taken care of. So come to the Good Hair Bar. We will help you achieve the hair that you want to have, and you don't have to feel like your beauty is not enough, right? So it's all about that confidence. Let's help build your confidence. Let's get you. Let's not change what you look like. Let's just enhance what you already have, and give you that good hair that you dream of.
Right, and forcing yourself into a beauty standard that isn't you.
Absolutely.
That isn't you, and there's
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with that. So now, 9 years in business, new salon opening up, product line. You're in a larger space now, so business is good. You're in Ulta.
Yep.
You're at Sally's. Are you at Whole Foods?
Whole Foods
Whole
too.
Foods everywhere.
I'm gonna take you with me on the road. You know,
Listen,
you know
I know all our business. Did you think, and did you ever dream that the business would take off the way that it has?
Another good question. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I did, and I think the more acceptable answer is to say no. I never thought this, but I did.
I love that swag.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. I knew that it was going to be successful because I knew my why. Like, of course, I said that, you know, my initial why was my son, but after that, after he was good, it became, I am here to be a vessel for God's purpose of helping other women feel great about themselves. And I knew that if this was the purpose he had given me, he was not going to allow me to fail.
I love that.
And so, and he was only going to increase the territory of which I could do what he had called me to do. And so, while a lot of times, and I am no different than any other business owner, I go through days where I feel like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Why am I doing this? I should just get a job, just work somewhere else and get my check. But, you know, for me, like, this is just seeing the joy that comes on people's faces when they see themselves differently. And they see themselves in a different light. Like I said, you're standing up a little bit taller, you're walking a little bit different, and there's things that you will go to accomplish simply because you feel beautiful that you may have thought that you weren't good enough to do or that you weren't suited to do in the past. And so I did feel like I knew Naturalicious was going to be successful. I didn't know how successful. I didn't know to what level. I just knew that it was going to do well. And with Good Hair Bar, I feel very confident in that too.
I love this. Now, I'm going to get deep on you again.
Okay.
You found your purpose. Like you said, it started with your son. You saw that there was even something bigger. What would you say to other women or other people in general who are struggling to find that deeper purpose in what they're doing? How do you find it? Do you just follow the steps that come before you? What would your advice be?
Oh gosh, Tati.
Sorry. We should do this over dinner, right? Cocktails.
That's why we got her here.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, like I mentioned earlier, I hated my hair my whole life. So for me to be doing anything with hair, and I was very much a tomboy too. So I was not into nails. My dad taught karate, so I was taking karate. You know, I was never like a girly girl, if you will. You know, whatever that means. And so now I more am.
Okay.
So you could never have told me at 10, 12, even 17 years old that I would own a company that has anything to do with beauty. And so I think your question is a really good one because it's like, well, it'd be different if I grew up loving these things, right?
Right.
But how do you find that purpose? And I think, you know, a lot of times things are just in our faces and we either ignore them or we think they're not for us. But for me, like I said, I started the company because I was trying to find a solution for my own hair. Now, while I was a tomboy, I still wanted my hair to look good.
Of course.
Right? And so I was trying to find a solution for myself, and then I realized that other people had these same challenges. And then it became, we're not chasing money here, we're chasing purpose, right? We're chasing helping people feel better about themselves. And I believe that there's a distinct difference between talent and gifts. Talents are things that you can train to be good at, right? You can train to be, you know, if you're not naturally talented as a basketball player, you can be trained to become really good at that, right? You can practice forever. But there are gifts that we have that we don't have to work at. We just naturally have them, and every single person on earth has a gift. Now, it is our job while we're here to figure out what that gift is and to use it for our own good, for the good of other people, and all of that. But, you know, just because we have a gift doesn't mean that we're actually going to be working in that gift.
Right.
So it's our job to find what that gift is. And for me, I started to think a lot about the things I used to get in trouble for when I was younger.
Okay.
I used to get in trouble a lot for talking.
Okay.
All the time. I got great grades. I was valedictorian in my high school.
Okay.
But I always got dinged at parent-teacher conferences. Gwen is really smart. She's really good in school, but she talks too much. She's always passing notes. She's always talking. We had pagers back then. You know, she's always paging somebody, you know. And my mom would always say, "You're always talking. Stop talking so much," you know. But I realized that is actually a gift of mine. Like, I have a gift of talking and communication in a way that helps people understand things that they wouldn't otherwise understand. Hence why I'm able to help women who have struggled with their hair for 60 years fix it in 15 days.
That's right.
Because I'm talking to them and I'm creating analogies that just come to me naturally that help them, that light bulb goes off and they're like, oh, I understand why this hasn't been working. If I do this, it's such an easy fix, right? So that's a gift for me. And so you may say, well, how does that translate to hair? Well, the gift is the communication, right? And it just so happens that I also had a challenge with hair. And so it's like I married the hair challenge that I had that I realized other people had, and I solved the problem for myself. So I communicate that with other people, and therefore I'm able to help them along the way. And so that's just one of my gifts, right? And I'm sure you have multiple gifts, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
has
yeah.
multiple gifts.
Yeah.
And it's just figuring out what those things are. I also have a really good gift of tenacity. I don't get down too much. I'm a very optimistic person.
You also have a lot of grit because you kept at it.
A lot of grit, yeah. And so that's a gift that is my gift, right? And so I think a lot of times for us, particularly as women sometimes, we shy away from those because we don't want to sound boastful or braggadocious that, you know, we're able to do certain things so easily. But it is what it is. Like, it's not bragging if it's just facts.
That's right.
You know, and so I encourage everyone to really tap into think about the things that you just do naturally well, that you don't have to work hard at, that you don't have to spend a lot of time on. What are people always telling you you're so good at? And especially for us sometimes as women, we will like kind of downplay those things.
Yes.
You know, we'll say like, oh no, girl, it's not that big of a deal.
Yes.
But it is.
Right.
You know?
No, I love that because as you were saying and you were making the connection with the communication and the hair, you can have the best hair care products in the world in front of you, but if someone doesn't teach you how to use them the right way, they're not going to work for you.
Yeah.
So that is, I see how the communication and that gift contributed to this other talent / gift that you had and problem you're solving. So it all comes together. Yeah. And I think hindsight is 20/20, right? So when you were in it and you were going through it, probably didn't feel like a gift.
Didn't feel like a gift, no, not at all.
Didn't feel like a gift.
No.
At all, but
also just like the rallying of the community. Like also that's a part of the gift, right? The communication and the fact that we have women, like I said, flying in from all over the country to come to a salon. They're going to pass 700 other salons to get to Good Hair Bar.
How does it feel to you that people are flying in?
I'm honored.
Catching flights.
Yeah, I'm honored, like truly honored. And they're not just coming for the opening. Like some are coming from the opening for the celebration of that, but some are just made appointments on like September 15th or something, you know, a day that after we've opened because they want to come here. They're going to pass a ton of other salons. And I feel so, like I could cry. Like I feel so honored that you trust me enough to come to my salon. You don't know who the stylists are. You don't know how good or not good your hair is going to look. And you believe in me enough to take a flight, get a hotel, stay a day or two, stay another night, and then go home. You know what I mean?
That's
like
amazing.
It's amazing.
That is
it's
amazing.
Quite amazing.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, here you are walking your gifts and your talents. You should be like a life coach too.
I'll find some time.
You'll find some, I know, right? I'm just giving her more jobs that she does not need. She's a mom, balancing motherhood, entrepreneurship, interviews like this, which you are constantly doing.
Yeah. Well, I do
staying
have a group called the
connected.
Power Circle,
Okay.
and that's kind of like a life coaching group.
Okay.
But I've corralled a number of other amazing coaches in finance, in life coaching, in entrepreneurship, in beauty, and we all kind of get together and teach the women that are in the Power Circle these different disciplines. And so I guess that is kind of like a
It's kind of like a life coach.
kind of like a life coaching.
And bringing community.
that was basically gonna be my question because like you could have stopped at the hair care products, you could have stopped at the salon,
Yeah.
like, but there keeps being a next. There keeps being a problem
Yeah.
that you feel that you need to solve.
Yeah.
Where's that coming from? Like what is it where you're like, oh, this is a thing that needs to be fixed right now. I got you. Like where do you get that?
Yeah, I think just listening to people.
You're awesome.
Oh, thank you. Just listening to people and listening to like what they say are their challenges. And like I said, I'm very much the consumer, right? And so I'm not crazy enough to think that it's only my problem, right? Like I'm not unique in that sense. You know, other people have these same challenges, and so. You know, when I hear people complain about certain things, like during the pandemic, I heard people saying, I don't know what to do with my hair. I got to figure this out. I'm used to going to my stylist. It's like, oh, okay, let's create the Repair Your Hair Challenge so we can help you repair your problems, you know? And it's just kind of keeping your eyes open and keep your ear to the street, hearing what people are saying, and then creating the solution. But that's another gift of mine. Like
That's another gift.
I'm a solution person. Like
Yeah.
I am not that person who you can have as a friend and you call and complain all the time. You can call and complain one time, and after that, we gotta talk about solutions.
I love it.
Like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna solve this? But that's always been what I do, so I guess it just makes sense.
There you go.
And I hadn't even
Another
thought about it. Thank you for
you,
liking me. Kari,
That's what I'm here
made
for.
me realize.
That's right.
Something.
Another gift, another next, walking
Yeah.
your gifts, walking your talents. And, you
Yeah.
know, I've been following your story since 2015.
Yes.
It is now
You've been such a great
2022.
supporter. Thank
It's
you
been
so
my
much.
pleasure. You've been an inspiration, which is
Yeah.
why I was like, she's going to be on Motivation
I
Monday.
appreciate that.
I can't imagine how you couldn't be motivated and inspired to get your week started. You see this woman, she did it. So you can do it, I can do it, Kari can do it, we can all do it. So
And you're doing it.
thank you.
Yes, you are doing it.
I'm also like you though, I'm always thinking about the next. What
Yeah.
else could I be doing? What
Yeah.
else should I be
Yeah.
doing?
But you know what? That in itself is a gift. But it's also, I found that I have to pull myself back from that because I've always been an achiever, right? But that was rooted in my life, right? It was like I grew up with parents who were. My parents had me when they were a little bit older, and so they grew up in like the 50s and the 60s and things like that. And for them, it was always you have to be twice as good to get half as much.
Yep.
And so it was like you have to achieve, you have to be good. But when you achieved, you weren't always celebrated, and that's not just because achievement was
I
expected,
agree.
right?
Absolutely.
Achievement was expected. You were not
Absolutely.
you were not meant to fail, so you had to achieve, right? And so for me as an adult, I find that when I do achieve something, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's fine. What's next, right?
Exactly.
And so you have to kind of reel yourself
Exactly.
back and realize, like, I did that. Like,
Yeah.
that's actually really good. So as much of a gift that is, take some time to celebrate yourself.
I'm going to take that lesson because every time you were saying that, I was like, that's true. You downplay yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I achieved it. Next, because
Yeah.
there's about 20 other things on this list of things that I
Yeah.
do want to achieve. So,
Yeah. It's a
words
big
of wisdom.
deal.
That's what I'm taking away from this. I told y'all you would be inspired. Aren't you not inspired, Kari?
Come on, man.
Come on, all right.
Like, I feel like I can do stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? About to tackle that to-do list on this Monday. Gwen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
We
having me.
appreciate you.